Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me. In today's episode, we're discussing the Texas inmate that escaped while being transported to a medical appointment. The worst part about this escape is that a family of 5 lost their life before they captured him. Did they capture him? They actually end up killing him. But we're going to discuss that. We're going to dive deep. We're going to talk about all of this. We're going to talk about how did this possibly happen? My friends, if that's the type of story you like to follow, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified whenever I upload any content. If you like this type of content. Hey, and if you find some value in this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. That lets YouTube know there's some value, show it to more people. Because this is what we know, and this is everything that went down. Gonzalo Lopez, a career criminal, he escaped a Texas prison while being transported for a medical appointment. Who is Gonzalo? Well, we know he was a repeat offender with a criminal history that stretched back almost 3 decades. Gonzalo was formerly a member of the Mexican Mafia, a prison gang that dominates Latino criminal elements within the southwestern prison system. He also had strong ties to criminal elements across Texas. In 1996, Gonzalo received 2 8-year sentences after being convicted of 2 counts of aggravated assault. In 2006, he received a life imprisonment for capital murder and aggravated kidnapping. This was followed by another conviction in 2007, this time for attempted capital murder. He was known as a very dangerous man. This dangerous man, using a sharp device, broke through his hand and leg restraints and through the barrier separating prisoners from staff. Gonzalo and the bus driver both got off the bus fighting, leading to a brief altercation. After Lopez stabs the driver, he evaded another officer and took control of the bus, crashing the vehicles as authorities fired at him. Still in his white prison clothes, he then exited the bus and escaped into the woods of Leon County. The department stated that 16 other prisoners were present at the scene, but Gonzalo Lopez was the only one to escape, and he was on the run for days, and a manhunt pursued looking for this escaped convict who was very dangerous. And so now multiple agencies were searching for this convicted killer all along Highway 7 near Interstate 45 outside of Centerville. And now this is about 2 hours north of Houston. And right out of the gate, when all of this happened, they started putting roadblocks and lockdowns and searching everywhere for this killer because they knew he was dangerous. And so then the manhunt was definitely on, and they were looking all over for this guy as they're worried, what's next? We have to get this convicted killer as fast as we can. And so everyone's unloading and they're out there. They were searching all over East Texas for this convicted killer. His capital murder conviction, this came out of Hidalgo County. He was also facing attempted charges of capital murder out of Webb County. This fugitive was very dangerous, and he was believed to be wearing his white prison garb most of the time. I'm not too sure by the time he died what he was wearing, but he was wearing that white prison jumpsuit for a lot of it as he was getting more closer. And so they started trying to find any information that they could on him. And so the reward right away was over $22,000 for any information that would lead to the capture of Gonzalo, the 2006 convicted killer of a man along the Texas-Mexico border. He was a dangerous man. They were even canceling school around the Centerville, Texas area because of this guy. And so he escaped the prison bus. And again, 16 other prisoners were on board and no one escaped except this guy. So he must have had this planned out or something, and who knows what everyone said afterwards. But he escaped this prison transport bus and stabbed the driver in the process. And inside this bus, he was in a caged area of this bus. And you can see here, like, this is where you can see as someone was passing by, they took a video of this as it was just finished happening. And being inside this caged area, it's because he was considered a high risk individual at this time. So they already knew he was high risk. So like, wow. Like the fact that he was able to pull this off, no one going into this. Here he was able to break free of his hand and feet restraints, cut through the expanded metal of the cage and crawl out the bottom. The fact that he was able to pull this off, someone who is serving a life sentence for a murder in 2006, he lunges at the driver who then had to stop the bus that was full of inmates. So now it's a really dangerous situation, it may seem to most people, right? And so then the bus driver and Lopez, they fight outside of the bus, where then Lopez stabs him in the hand and chest. The good part about that is that the bus driver did not have any life-threatening injury. But that would not be the case for a family of 5. As they're continuing this manhunt, no one knows where he was. Like, they had so many different agencies on this guy. He was able to hide out for days on end. And everyone is looking all over for him with no luck. And Leon County, this little county has roughly 16,000 residents and is about 50 miles north of the state's prison headquarters. And as the driver and Lopez are outside fighting, and then he stabs him in the hand, another officer comes out of the back of the bus and starts approaching them. That's when Gonzalo jumps back into the van and drives off, but not before one of the officers were able to shoot the back of the wheels. That's when the officer pulls out his firearm and shoots the bus's rear tire, which helps bring it to a stop off the roadway. But then that's when he gets out, and then when he runs off into the woods, as you can see, this is at the time as he's running off. So here he was escaping on May 12th, and as you can see him running off into his little sunset on May 12th, escaping authorities because he knew he was not even eligible for parole till 2047, and I guess he was not wanting to wait that long. And now he was on the run until June 2nd of 2020. So May 12th he escapes, June 2nd, 2020. All of this comes to an end, but not without a tragic ending for a family of 5. Gonzalo Lopez, killed in a shootout on June 2nd, 2022, was now named as a suspect in the death of 1 adult and 4 children in Centerville, Texas, which was about 250 miles away from the scene of the fatal shootout where he died. See, he was ultimately spotted by law enforcement driving a white Chevrolet Silverado that he had stolen from the murder scene. When police spotted the vehicle that they knew was a stolen vehicle and that he allegedly had stolen this vehicle, and so they were looking for him, they spot him, the police give chase, and Lopez crashes into a tree after running over some spike strips that the police had put out there to slow him down. He then exits the vehicle and begins shooting at officers who returned fire, striking and killing him. No law enforcement officers were injured in this fight. Gonzalo Lopez, he was armed with a rifle and handgun, which were believed to have been stolen from the home of the murder victim. This man, Gonzalo Lopez, before he's done, he would kill 5 more people. And this is one of the most heartbreaking parts of this whole story, is not only did he manage to get away from May 12th through June 2nd, that's a long time to be on the run. How did he get away? We know that this stuff happens. He's a desperate man. And then when we learn the identities of the family and find out more as to why were they there, it's just all so sad. And so he kills 1 adult and 4 children. Rest in peace, Mark Collins. Rest in peace, Carson Collins. Rest in peace, Hudson Collins. Rest in peace, Waylon Collins. Rest in peace, Bryson Collins. Little Bryson just finished classes for the semester, and he was packed for a long stay at the family ranch. They were all ready for their summer. They were ready to move forward in their world and get ready for a great summer. As far as everyone's talked about these kids, they were great kids. So much future, so much life. And this coward, this escaped convict, managed to take 5 more lives. Why? Because he was able to get away. You know, and what happened to this family is unthinkable. Here they are on vacation. Last thing they would expect is that this would happen. And even though we live in a world that we know is a bad world, we still don't expect it to happen to us until it happens to us. That's where this is such a heartbreaking thing. We don't know the whole story. No, we won't ever have the full story, why they were killed. We don't know anything. I'm guessing more of this story will come out. Maybe some more of the backstory as to what was going on. But here they were, staying at their family ranch, ready for the summer, ready to enjoy their whole summer. Waylon Collins, the one to the far right, he had just graduated from high school. And his younger brothers and their cousin had finished classes for the semester. And again, they were packed for a stay at the family ranch for the summer. Mark was a very active husband, father, and grandfather who absolutely loved his grandchildren dearly and always loved spending time with them outdoors. And the boys, they were all involved in a variety of community activities: football, baseball, soccer. And as I'm always saying, that anytime we lose children at young ages, that takes away from our brighter future. These kids are taken way too soon. And it's sad that they were maybe bad timing. Unfortunately, this guy, Gonzalo Lopez, is an evil guy. And many people don't just stop living. They just assume they're going to get caught. Be alert, be careful if you're in the Texas area. But my guess is he was already at their family home when they arrived. Law enforcement officers had been searching the area after the inmate had broken free on May 12th. Now, it is unclear whether he had already been inside the Collins' ranch house when the grandfather and the 4 boys arrived, or whether he broke in while they were there. It's still unclear. And when authorities arrived, the white 1999 Chevy Silverado, it was missing, and hours later, they found the inmate driving it about 260 miles away in Atascosa County, which is not far from San Antonio. He then leads them on a chase before crashing the vehicle and shooting at officers who returned fire. During a news conference that was led by Houston Crime Stoppers, they shared that a longtime friend, David Crane, he said that Collins was aware that an inmate had escaped in the area and that authorities had been in contact with the family because they had searched their weekend house multiple times. It's not clear whether the family had been informed that a burglary had occurred just next door several days before Collins and his grandsons went, and that it may be linked to the escaped inmate. Friend David Crane says that he believes Collins was aware. And again, as I mentioned, he was a dangerous man. He was already serving back-to-back life sentences for shooting a Webb County Sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop in 2004 and slaughtering a man with a pickaxe in Hidalgo County after holding him for $40,000 ransom on a drug debt in 2005. So this was a very dangerous individual. I only wish that the family would have known this, or if there was just I don't know. This stuff just seems like it's going to happen. There's always crime. And it's like, how do we be a little more careful? Sometimes I'm not too sure it can escape us. You know, there's so many bad individuals out there that are capable of the worst. Be the most alert that we can possibly be, because this is a tragic story that many of us feel it should have never happened in the first place. How did he escape 2 armed officers and he was caged up? So I don't know. There might be more to this story that comes out. I don't really know, but I've given you all the facts on what happened from this escape till his death. This dangerous escape fugitive who is now dead. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to serving you again. Peace. Have a great day.